Hi, welcome. I'm Coach Tonya here at Critical Bench, and this video is all about balance exercises to help support your physical therapy. Now, I don't know where you're at as far as your physical therapy program, so I would strongly recommend that, after you do a couple of these with me, because I'm just going to be demonstrating them with you, that you talk with your therapist and show them the exercises to determine which ones are really good for you, which ones you get the green light, the thumbs up, like go ahead and do these at home, because the idea is that these are supplementary exercises for you to do at home to help benefit what you're doing and the work that you're doing with your physical therapist. So where you're at is where you start from, and I don't know what that is, so a conversation with that therapist is a really good idea. So I'm going to demonstrate a few of these for you, give a few tips, give some rep ranges that I think are safe to work within. You don't need much but a chair and possibly a small mini band if you have one, but I'll talk more about that when we get to that exercise. Now, the first exercise is a very simple, very basic standing march. And for as simple as it is, it's a great exercise as far as improving and maintaining good balance, because when you think of walking or marching, you're shifting your body weight, all of your body weight, to be supported even briefly on one leg at a time. And as short as that moment is, if you have trouble with your balance, if you've been injured, if you're just getting older and your balance is, not as good as it was, walking can become something that you don't feel as confident doing it anymore. So these standing marches are a great exercise to add to your physical therapy as a supplement to help improve balance. So you want to have the chair beside you for support. You don't want to be leaning on it, because already, standing like this, I've got a nice solid base, I'm balanced. The minute I do this, I've shifted my weight, I am no longer on balance. So doing the exercise from leaning isn't going to help. If you find that you're leaning, stop. Get yourself feet about shoulder width apart, maybe a little less. Hand just resting on the chair, and you're just simply going to march, but it's a slow march. So there's a pause and then down, and a pause and then down. Now, you don't have to lift your knee right up high. If you want to, go ahead. But if this is all you want to do, this is where you feel comfortable, then just take smaller steps, okay? You're doing these on the spot. And I would suggest anywhere from 10 total to 20. But again, have this conversation with your therapist to determine what is a really good rep range for you to do. And as well, how many times a day, because the only wrong time, or people always want to know, when should I do these? Doing them is better than not doing them. Some of you have time in the morning, and that's, when you're feeling a little more stiff, and that's a great way to get your day started. Some of you, after a day of doing your daily functions and activities, find doing this at the end of the day is better. There's really no wrong or right. I do recommend, once your therapist gives you the thumbs up, at least once a day, up to twice a day, and definitely 2 to 3 times a week to support your therapy protocol. All right, for the standing 3-way kick, we're going to basically stay in the same position that we started in for these standing marches. Hand is resting on the chair, feet about shoulder width apart. Actually, start with feet shoulder width apart to get your balance. You're going to want to bring them a little closer together. And all we're going to do is very gently bring one foot in front of us, just slightly above the floor. Bring it back to center, out to the side, back to center, to the back to center. That's one repetition. I'm going to recommend somewhere between 5 to 8. Let's just do another one, just so I can show you. Again, this isn't about how high you get your foot off the floor. Just lifting it off the floor is all that you need to do for this exercise to work. Bring it to the middle, slight pause, side, slight pause, to the back, slight pause. Now, whatever we do on one leg, we have to make sure we do it on the other. And you may notice that one side offers better balance and support than the other. That's okay. That's why we do these exercises. Lift, center, to the side, center, back, center. That's one. Let's do one more. Out in front, side, to the center, to the back, and there you go. So 5 to 8 one side, 5 to 8 the other side. Be very aware of things that you notice. Be very aware if you notice, I feel really strong when I'm doing these on the one leg. I feel a lot more wobbly on the other leg. This is a really good feedback system your body is sharing with you. It's a really good idea to pay attention, be aware, and discuss these things with your therapist. Okay, for the next exercise, sidestepping, there's a couple of different ways to do it. Now, I'm going to take the chair out of the way here. Now, I did grab a mini band. If your balance is really good and you also wanted to incorporate a little bit of strength into these, you can opt to take the mini band and put it around just above the knee or around the ankles to do these exercises. I'm going to show you a couple first without the band. Now, I'm going to do these sort of on the spot in a clutter-free space, which you can do depending on what area you're working at home. Now, if you have a hallway that's clear and free of space, what you can do is facing the wall with your hands on the wall for support if you need it, is you can do side steps down the hallway, okay? That's a great option if you have that. But if you don't, maybe you've got a small apartment, maybe you're doing these in your bedroom, maybe you're doing these in your office, you can do these on the spot. Again, if you feel like you need some support, then just have something, a desk. You can have a chair to have your hand on, but I wanted to move the chair out of the way just to show you this way of doing them. So for these side steps, I'm just going to take a side step, and then I'm going to come back. And that's it. So we're just moving in this plane of motion side to side. Now, if you start to feel wobbly, stop. Wide base, stop. Slight bend in the knee. Catch your breath. If you need the chair, pull the chair back in, okay? And just do a side step, do a smaller one. All right? Or you can face the chair and do your side steps this way. All right? Again, you want to work within like a 10 to 15 rep range, okay? So that would be 10 to 15 in one direction, 10 to 15 in the other direction. Now, if you want to add, if your balance is really good, if you're feeling really comfortable and confident doing that, and you want to add the mini band, here's what you can do. Now, I would say to you, sit down to put the mini band on, because I found that a little tricky myself. Now, again, if I take the chair away, now the mini band, its job is to try to bring your knees together, okay? Your job is to not let it do that. So you want to keep that resistance. You want to keep that tightness in the band, all right? And you're just going to sidestep. Sidestep. Slight bend in the knee is okay. That helps with balance as well. But this is also going to help keep some strength in your legs and your glutes. That posterior chain is really important to keep strong, to support good balance. Again, if you've got the hallway, you can just walk down the hallway like that, 10 to 15 in one direction, 10 to 15 in the other direction. If you need the chair, that's all you would do. And those are your side steps. This next exercise is called single leg stands. So it's a timed one. This one I want you to progress based on the time that you're able to hold one leg up in the air and work up from there. You want to work up to 30 seconds ultimately, but I don't know where your starting point is, so you might want to grab your phone or have, if there's somebody there with you, grab their phone and time you. So again, standing next to the chair with your hand resting on the chair, just lift one foot off the ground. It doesn't have to be a perfect 90-degree knee lift, okay? But lift one leg off the ground and just see how long you can hold it. Now, if you are able to hold it for 30 seconds, then I would say that is your baseline and work up to 60. But if you get to 5-10 seconds and you start to wobble, stop. That's your baseline. So you're going to start holding at 10 seconds, and every day that you do them, the next time you do these exercises, add 5 seconds to your time and work your way up to that 30-second. You will probably find, what a lot of people do find, is that they can hold the time on one side a little longer than they can on the other side, because that's what we call muscle imbalances, which are what cause overall, or contribute to overall imbalances in the body. So the single leg stand, you want to test both legs. Doesn't matter what side you have the chair on. So you hold one leg up and you would time yourself. This is just the first round to figure out where you're at. So let's say you get to 10. So you stop at 10. Okay, try it with the other leg. You might find you can get to 25. All right, so now you've got two baselines. You've got 10 on the left, 25 on the right. Every time you do this exercise, or each week that you do the exercise, you want to add that extra time. So you're working towards a new time goal till you hit the 30. Then when you hit the 30 and you're able to do that, You want to work up to 60. Now, when you hit the 30 seconds, or maybe you worked up towards the 60 seconds, you might have a conversation with your physical therapist, and what the two of you may agree on is that trying to do this very same exercise without having to hold or rest your hand on the chair. Now, you still need to have it there for support, but start working on balancing without the support, and seeing how long you can do that. And don't get discouraged if you find, well, I can do this for 40 seconds, but when I take my hand off the chair, I can only do it for 10. Hey, you got to 40 seconds. So that is called progress and improvement. Now we're just adding another challenge. This next exercise I call stand to sit and sit to stand. And it looks really basic. And I guess, in a way, it is basic. But if you ever notice maybe someone elderly or somebody that's really been injured, that sometimes they have extreme difficulty getting up from a seated position without wobbling or toppling, or they need to hold on to somebody or something to help them get up. Well, this exercise is meant to help improve and build better balance, getting up from a sitting position as well as getting into a sitting position without further injury or harm or risk, okay? So you're going to take your chair, and we're going to start in a seated position. Okay, we're not relaxing. Okay, straight back, because this does involve, you're going to need your core strength. You're going to need some hammies and some glutes and some quad strength. Okay, so you're going to go from seated, feet about shoulder width apart, not pushing off the chair. Okay, if you do need some help to start, again, I don't know where you're at in your physical therapy progress. You might need somebody in front of you just to rest your hands on their forearms, but just from sitting, stand. Now, I can do that with relative ease, but if you're having severe balance issues, an injury, you've got something else that's compromising balance, that can be really difficult, okay? Now, from standing, we want to go back down to sitting, okay? And again, and you don't want to do these too quickly, especially if you are wobbly. You want to go from seated, coming up, because that movement can create a sense of imbalance, all right? Make sure you feel good and stable before moving backwards down into that seated position. Probably 8 to 10 of these is what I would recommend. There you go. The next exercise is heel-toe roll-ups, and that's just all about moving our weight from a firm platform onto one that's covers less surface area. So when I'm standing like this, the flat of the entire sole of my foot is in contact with the ground, or my shoe is. So I've got quite a good base to support my body weight. Now, the minute I move to one foot, or I move in a position that removes some of that support, now I'm having to balance my body on a much more narrow surface. So heel roll-ups, are a really good way to practice this with a chair support. So facing your chair, hands resting on the chair, feet about shoulder width apart, you're just going to roll up. Now, it's not about how high. If you can roll up this high, excellent. But if starting to roll up, you feel yourself a little wobbly, stop where that happens, okay? So just roll up and hold that for like 3, 2, 1. Come back down, pause, do that again. And pause, and do that again, and pause. Probably 8 to 10 is a really good rep range to do those, and just keep working on that. And as you can get a little higher, that's just adding more challenge as your not just your confidence builds, but as your balance improves. The last exercise I want to show you is heel-toe walking. Now you can see I've taken the chair out of the way because this involves some movement. Now, if you do require support, or you just feel more confident having support, remember I talked about that clear hallway in an earlier exercise? You may want to go there to do this exercise, because that way you can actually rest your hand on the wall and perform this exercise, having that security and that added bit of confidence. Okay, so with heel-toe walking, I do recommend doing this, especially this one in bare feet or sock feet, but I've got my shoes on today because of filming. So heel-toe walking, all it is placing one foot in front of the other, and the feet continue to touch. So your heel touches the toe of the front foot, and you do that. Now you can see I can do this much better in bare feet. My balance is not as good when I'm wearing running shoes. All right, for something like this. So these tiny little steps, take your time and go slow. Again, a wall or a person can be your support. And you want to do that probably, I would say, again, you have to start where you're at. If you can get 8 to 10 walks in going one direction, going the other direction, great. If that seems really easy for you, increase that to 10, increase it to 15, increase it to 20. And again, if you're starting out, you're using a wall or somebody for support, as you increase the number of steps, see what you can do. Still have that person or that wall there for support if you need it, but see how well you can take some of these steps without that support. Because part of improving your balance is also making sure we're building your confidence so you feel really secure moving in your space as your balance improves. All right, so there's 7 really basic but really solid balance exercises that can support your physical therapy program. Great exercises you can do at home, and think of them as a supplemental program to what you're doing with your therapist. Now, again, have that conversation with them, and between the two of you, decide which of these are best for you right now, which ones you might want to not do right away, and discuss your rep ranges and just how much support that you need in working through these. Now, if you liked these exercises and you want even more programs that can really benefit your balance and help improve that, I want you to check out that pinned comment below. This is the Neuro Balance Therapy program that our own coach Chris Wilson designed. It is absolutely fabulous, and it has literally had massive impact on thousands of people's lives. If you click that link, it'll take you to a page. You can read all about the program, read the testimonials, and just find out how really awesome and impactful this program is. You get the digital download, you get a DVD, and you even get the free spiky ball to go with it to work through a lot of these exercises. I'm Coach Tonya with Critical Bench. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It just makes me feel good. And don't forget to click that notification bell and the subscription button so you never miss any of our amazing free video content. Thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you soon.